And I think Brad Gray's joining us out of Sydney. Thanks for coming in up the order. You've been promoted, Brad. Let's hope you can knock it out of the park. Let's first of all look at the Group 1 Golden Rose. Bivouac at 261.28, up against Exceedance again at 4 and 135. And I thought there was a little bit in Castle Vecchio's last out run at 8 and 210 that you're just thinking deeper into the preparation, 1,400 metres more to go. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you. We're on a good deck. We should have a nice fair track too with the rail back in the true, so a nice bit of fresh patch there. Last time we were at Rosehill was a little bit leaderish, but I think today that should even itself out. What a race though, the Golden Rose is. There's just so much depth across these horses. Bivouac's a really well-supported favourite. I think that all just comes down to the way this race maps. No matter how you carve it up, it's very hard to see it being run at an above-average clip. So those who are on speed are certainly going to be advantage. That's why Yao Dash comes up relatively short. Although he's won a couple of races, which are certainly not in the calibre of these horses. Bivouac was brilliant last start. We're having a look at that replay here. Run to the Rose, sat outside the lead. They didn't go at a crawling speed either. So for him to kick the way he did last 600 metres, 32.90, suggests he's an absolute superstar himself. Exceedance made some ground. His last 600 metres was actually 1.5 lengths faster than Bivouac, but it just goes to show the task that this horse has in terms of turning the tables. He was still beaten by 2 lengths, so he's going to have to run some phenomenal time. Bivouac's strength through the line there suggests to me that the 1,400 metres no issue. Castelvecchio is an interesting one, isn't he? Because he comes out of that Balsify. That suggests that he's probably looking for further. I certainly don't begrudge the owners having a crack at a Golden Rose, given how much it does for a Colts stallion CV. However, it's just hard to see him sprinting with these when they really quicken, because as we saw in the run to the Rose there were some amazing sectionals run by these horses who ran the first 4, and that's not discounting Yes and Kubrick as well, because we know from Chris Waller that his horses generally jump out of the ground second up. They're the ones with the most improvement. How much improvement they have, we don't know, but Yes certainly looks like a really big contender. Maybe Kubrick is more of a Guineas horse out to the mile, but I certainly don't want to discount him either. So really tricky race. I have got Bivouac on top, but I do concede $2.50 is probably not a price that I'm going to be charging in at, given how even these colts look to be.
Okay, so to make money out of the race, how do we play it, Brad?
Yeah, I think we're waiting. So hopefully Bivouac gets it out to a better price. He was $3.10 during the week. I think that's a much more attractive proposition. $2.50 is probably rock bottom. I think there will be some support for some others. So we'll just hold fire. I do want to back Bivouac, but I just want to wait for better odds.
Very cool too. What a card in front of us as well. Want to have a look at the Shannon Stakes over the 1,500 metres. I think a few Kiwis win this in past years as well. Roger James, I think, got over there and got one of these 3 or 4 years back. Jim Song might be sort of 7 or 8 years back now, thinking about it. 230 and 128 ahead of Conte Partero at 440 and 150. Avantage, the Kiwi who's looking to improve a little bit on what we saw last time at 6s, and Volpe Veloce at 21 and 390. Let's assess the field, and we do want to get your thoughts on that on the Kiwi mares as well in this one, Brad.
Yeah, Vantage was a little bit plain by her standards there. First up, I do know there's a change of tactics with her, so they're going to ride her with cover, so maybe that'll switch her on a little bit. She can certainly improve on what she did there last time out. That leaves this race up in the air in terms of tempo. Conte Partero probably goes forward with the Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott profile. She's not the sharpest mare, though, so once she does get there, it's interesting if anything else wants to attack it. Gem Song finds himself here. I think he's a really nice horse, still on the way up. 12 starts for 5 wins, and what he did there first up when he was third behind Arcadia Queen stacks up really, really strongly for a race like this. I think that's as good as he's ever gone. We suggest that he's probably capable of going to the next level this campaign. He's going to go into the Epsom next week, so if he's going to be a genuine winning chance in a race like that, which I think he might be, given that it's a pretty open year for the Epsom, I think he wants to put these away. And I did note that Chris Lee said through the week that he's versatile enough to take up a spot, so certainly don't expect him to be flopped out the back, as we saw here in the Theo March when he ran home the same splits as Trope. And we know that when you're running home the same splits as Trope, you're certainly doing something right. So I think he's the horse to beat. Tom Melbourne is one you've always got to keep safe, especially when you're playing with your multiples. Nothing went right there for him. First up, maybe that fresh edge is just off him now, but he just gets a lovely drop on these leaders, and this race sets up really well for him. But Gem Song finds himself, but I think he's really hard to beat in a very, very suitable race.
Our researchers have told us it was Firebolt, that Roger James horse, that won the race. Let's move on to the Golden Pendant here, Brad. And it's only a small field of 7 to go around in it. Enticing Star comes up a 260 favourite with us. Champagne Cuddles was okay last time out, probably a pass at 420. How are you assessing this one?
Yeah, Typhoon's a fascinating runner, isn't it? I know that the Chris Waller camp have said all along there's very little between her and Arcadia Queen, which is a really bold statement, given how good Arcadia Queen is. I still want to see it, though. The blinkers come off here for the first time. To be ridden cold, that's her normal pattern. And 1,400 metres first up is a really unconventional preparation as she goes towards an Everest. Maybe she'll simply be too good for these, but at $2.60, I'm prepared to just gamble around her. We're interested to see what the market does, but I think it might take a little set against her, come closer to jump. My old favourite, Dyslexic, do give her one more throw at the stump. So I tell you what, we could every excuse in the book of throwing at this mare. She's faced wet tracks, wide draws. Last start, she never got a crack. That's the replay here from the Shiraki. You can see it was a bit of a horror job. Certainly no fault of Jay Ford. Once Fasika kicked up on her outside, just boxed her in and she had nowhere to go. I think she would have won the race, which says to me that I think she can turn the tables on both Mizzy and your other horse in the race there, who was Champagne Guttles, you touched on before, who looked to get her chance down the outside. She still ran well, but I think Dyslexic's a mare that just is juice and luck. She's a really sharp turn of foot mare, so once she gets a bit of clear running, I think she'll be really hard to beat. Pretty in Pink was a horse that was just a complete forget from that race too, so I think she can improve, but the horse I want to be with yet again is Dyslexic. Maybe I'm just too loyal though.
Okay, and the race we think we can win there today, Brad, is the Gloaming. Are you sharing our confidence here around Quick Thinker? Currently 350, Just Thinking and Shadow Hero both at 340. They head the market with our TAB.
I'm not. Hopefully you don't press the button to cut me off here, but I think he's rock bottom odds. It always makes you a little bit nervous when you're taking on a 3-year-old with Murray Baker pulling the reins, because we just know how dominant he is over the last couple of years. But that Ming Dynasty for me is a little bit weak. The numbers out of it weren't great. Of course, he's going to improve back on top of the ground. I recall that the team said he probably isn't a genuine wet tracker before that race, so he can only improve. The most impressive part about his race was just that last 100 metres, the strength through the line. So that bodes well for him going up in trip. But the second horse and the third horse out of this race have both run last since. So little query in the depth of this race. The race that I think is the right form is the Dulcify. Just Think and stack them up there and sprint it home. That's the concern for Shadow Hero fans, of which I'm one in this particular race. Hopefully Just Think and doesn't get complete control again, because I think Shadow Hero, on what he did here, coming out wide against the bias of the day, was an absolutely outstanding return. And I think he's the benchmark 3-year-old staying horse we have in Sydney at the moment. He's the one I want to track as we go towards a spring champion. So if that's the case, he's got to go very close here. Probably still half a run short of his absolute top, and Mike Newnham said as much during the week, but he can settle a little bit closer from the better draw, and with his turn of foot, I think he's going to take some real holding out.
And still in Melbourne Cup contention too, is Just Thinking as well. So we need to make money from Sydney today, Brad, so how do we do it?
We're hopefully going to make it in the opener. We'll know our fate nice and early. Race 1, number 9, Humboldt Current. I've got the best of the day. He's up in grade, but down in weight, and I love these profiles, these Chris Waller horses who are deep in a campaign. There's really sense of timing with the 4 runs under his belt. I think they push the button here with Karen McAvoy in the saddle and sit outside the leader and just ride him like a good thing. Gem Song, keen on his chances for all the reasons we mentioned a little bit earlier, and I think Shadow Hero is worth a gamble. And certainly if he doesn't win today, certainly stick with him, because I think you'll certainly be making a fair bit of dough, I reckon, from him over the campaign, because he's a very nice staying horse.